Hello viewers, once again it's a pleasure to be here so that we can learn something else today. Last week we were dealing with oral literature. Today we'll be dealing with functional writing skills. Teacher Ernest from St. Anne's, Mariaine. Welcome, and I hope you enjoy the show. Functional writings. Functional writings, these are skills that enables a candidate. Not only do they help you in the exam, but they also help you out there. Once you are out there, after you complete your studies, you need the functional skills. You need to write minutes in, you need to write your curriculum vitae, you need to write application letters. So these are very, very unique skills. So today, first, I'll try to explain how is it tested. Functional skills are tested in English paper 1. The first question, it is question number 1. And how is it tested? Let me illustrate. Functional skills carries 20 marks. 20 marks. So it can either be one question, can either be one question carrying 20 marks, or it can, yes, okay, or it can be a split question, split question, 1A, 10 marks, 1B, or 12 marks and 8 marks. That is generally how the functional writings will be tested. And then, what are the objectives? What do they test in a candidate? The candidate's ability to communicate using the correct format. Every functional writing skill has its own format. So, as a candidate, can you communicate using the correct format? If it's the format of a letter, an informal letter, it has a format different from a formal letter, and so on, as we shall see as we proceed. Also, the candidate's ability to respond correctly on the items asked in the question. The question you are asked, can you respond to it? If you are to apply for a job, can you respond to that? If you are to write your curriculum vitae, and then also the candidate's ability to communicate fluently. Can you communicate fluently with confidence? So that is generally all about the functional writing. Now, functional writings are tested from Form 1 up to Form 4. Today, our main focus will be the items for Form 1, but for the sake of all the learners, I want to highlight the functional writings from Form 1 to Form 4. I'll just mention them in passing so that now we can concentrate on the Form 1. The Form 1's functional writings are as follows. In Form 1, you will have diaries. We will discuss them after we highlight for all the classes. Diaries. Then you have addresses. We cover addresses in Form 1. The block and the indented, we'll deal with it. Then we used to have the packing list. Packing list is also covered in Form 1. We have the informal letters. Informal letters, that is still Form 1 work. You have public notice. Public notice. And finally, inventories. So if you are out there, you are a Form 1 student, these are the items by the time from term 1 up to term 3. These are the items you should cover in the syllabus. So we will discuss them in details after we highlight the other classes. We will discuss them in details. Let me come to Form 2. Form 2, functional writing skills. Form 2. The function writing, so in Form 2, we have the business letter. Business letter, an official letter. And then you have the posters. The posters you see like for campaigns, you cover them in Form 2. And then you have advertisements. You cover the advertisements in Form 2. We have the personal journal. Personal journals, we will discuss them when we are covering Form 2 work. The shopping list. Remember, when you want to do your shopping, you just don't go to the supermarket or the market and you start doing impulse buying. You have to be organized, and you organize yourself by making a shopping list. And then we have the telephone messages. This is still Form 2 work. Telephone messages. Imagine you are a secretary, maybe the secretary of a school or a company, and somebody calls and want to inquire, want to leave the message for the boss. How do you take that message and you write it down? We'll cover that when we cover Form 2 work. And then you have filling forms. Learners. Forms are very important because we fill bursary forms. Now, if you don't know how to fill a form, it can be a bit tricky for you. Also, we have letters of apology. Letters of apology. This is Form 2 work. Once you make a mistake, a human is to error. But when you make a mistake, how do you apologize in a letter? Again, we'll cover that in Form 2. And then you have invitations. Now, how now you invite somebody, maybe after you graduate, you want to invite some friends. How do you invite them? Also, maybe you want to invite them for your wedding. And also on the invitation, we also cover the response. If you are the one who has been invited, how do you respond? Now, that is generally Form 2 work. So once you understood the Form 1, the writings, these are for the Form 2. I will again do the same for the Form 3. I will list for the Form 3 class. Form 3s. Form 3s. Form 3, we have reminders. We cover reminders in Form 3. Then you have, again, the personal journal. You started it in Form 2. You will still cover it again in Form 3, personal journal. Then the thank you note. Once somebody congratulates you, you write a thank you note. On the same page, we have the congratulatory note. This is when someone has an achievement, a good achievement. You congratulate them by having the thank you, the congratulatory note. Then sometimes You know, in life, there is birth and there is death. So when somebody has that misfortune, when there is death, we write something we call the condolence note. Condolence note. If a friend or a classmate or anybody has a relative who has gone to be with the Lord, you write for them a condolence note. Then there is something we call a telegram, still in Form 3. Telegrams, you still cover them in Form 3. Then there is the application letter, which is very, very important because once you are done with your studies, you will start applying for the jobs, and you need to know how to write an application letter. And it's very important for the learners, very important to have that skill. It can be a bit embarrassing for you as a student. Assume you are at home and people from your village know you went to school. They know you have finished your Form 4. So I want to assume your uncle, who may not be as educated as you, then it tells you that you write for them an application letter, and then you are there, you are the one who went to school, and you tell them you cannot write an application letter. It can be very embarrassing. So then we also have the synopsis in Form 3. Synopsis, this is a summary. Once we do the set books, I know in Form 3 you're already doing the books, the Fathers of Nation and the Samaritan and so on. A synopsis, just a summary. We cover that in Form 3, sorry. Then we have what we call the reports. Reports, we also cover them in Form 3. It can be a newspaper report. You are asked, you can have a report, a committee, you do a report and you present to the principal on why the school is not performing. Those reports, we cover them in Form 3. Then there is the notification of a meeting. Notification of a meeting, you cover in Form 3. If you want people to meet, you give them a notice. Then we have the agenda. Agenda, these are simply the things that will be discussed in the meeting. And then after you have the meeting now, you come to the minutes. Minutes, these are written during the meeting. Again, that is a Form 3 work. And finally in Form 3, we have the memo, internal memo. So generally in Form 3, these are the functional writings. Once you familiarize yourself with the format of all of them, then you are good to go. You are safe. Then we come to Form 4. Again, we illustrate. Form 4, functional writings. The candidates. Form 4 work. We have the recipes. A recipe, how well can you cook? And when you are cooking for how many people? We cover that in Form 4. Then the emails. Emails. It's very important for you learners to have an email. So in Form 4, once you cover the email, it's not only for the exam. Also, you do it practically and you create your own email. You will need it when you are out there. Then we have the fax. Fax. We also cover fax in Form 4. And then instructions. Instructions to friends and family. You instruct somebody. If there is something you want to be done and you are leaving, you write the instructions. We'll cover that when we cover the Form 4 work. Then we have the book reviews. Book reviews. We cover that in Form 4. Book review, simply you review a book. We tell somebody more about a book. If you are out there, you are telling your parent that you are requested by the teacher to buy The Fathers of Nation. And maybe your parent has no idea what is the Fathers of Nation all about. Then you do a good book review, including even the price. We'll cover that when we cover the Form 4 work. Then questionnaires. Questionnaires, where we prepare some questions for somebody to fill. Then, again, in Form 4, something very important, let me write it here, the CV, your resume, the curriculum vitae. You prepare a good CV, because once you are out there in the job market, the employer, the potential employer wants to see. They want to see to know about you. So you prepare your CV. And finally, the speeches. One day, wonderful learners, you will be the MCA in your area, you will be the woman rep, you will be the governor, and you will need to make a speech. Also, you can have when you have friends and family, you had an occasion and they ask you to make a speech. So we cover that in Form 4. So generally what I have done is just to illustrate. Those are the functional writings. Now we will come to our main lesson for today. We are covering the Form 1 work. Form 1 functional writings. I hope you can remember them because we started with them. Form 1s, and they will be displayed on the slides. Form 1 functional writings. Form 1 functional writings, as we said, they include the diaries, addresses, the parking list, These are, we call them the personal writings. Personal writings, as you can see on the slides. Then you have the informal letter. How do you write this letter? We will cover in a few minutes. And then you have the public notices, and also the inventories. So we will go step by step. We'll try to be brief, and hope you get to understand them well. The first one we'll start with the diary. What is a diary? A diary is your personal, somewhere where you record your occurrence, a written record of the things. Like I have my diary here. This is my diary. It is a written record of things that happen each day. It is also a record of the things you plan to do per day and the time you plan to do so. If I know I'm waking up in the morning, I will first study this lesson, and then by mid-morning, I will go and do this and this, and then by afternoon, I will be enjoying being here at KUTV, Elimu show, and then in the evening, I will you record them in a diary. And there is a sample diary there. My diary, you always start by writing my diary, and then you record the events, the day, and then the date, as you can see on the slides. the dates, the sample date there, 23rd April 2015, and then the time and the event. At 8 a.m., the owner of this diary, at 8 a.m., that was waking up, 8:15, taking a shower, then 8:30, breakfast, reading history. It helps you become organized. You become organized because now you see, you have already made your plan for Saturday, you have made your plan for Sunday, you have made a plan for Monday. In the exam, you can be asked, make a diary for 3 days. So once you have that sample, you have, and it's very important. It's very important to be recording events. It makes you an organized person. Remember, there is a slide when we will be covering Form 2 work, when we cover the personal journals. We have seen some students confusing the diary and the personal journal. Sometimes to some students, they feel like it's the same thing. There is a difference. A diary, you record the things you will do, the things you are planning. I can make a diary for the things that I will do tomorrow on Tuesday, then on Wednesday and Thursday. I make the diary today. The personal journal, you record events that have happened. We can tell you, write a personal journal on the 3 days you went to Mombasa. So you will be writing those events after they have happened. That is one of the major difference, because I have seen many students confusing the two of them, the personal journals and the diary. So I hope you note that. Diary, you record what you will do. Personal journal, you record what you have done, the experience. But we'll cover that the other time when we are dealing with the Form 2 work. That is a diary. Then we come to addresses. What is an address? An address is a superscription of a letter directing who the letter is meant to reach. If you are writing a letter, who do you want that letter to reach? That is when you have the address. Also, the writer also writes the address in the letter to allow for the reply. If I write a letter to you, I have to put my address so that you can reply. And the address you can have, it depends on the letter, because as we cover the letters, we have the formal and informal. The formal letter is different from the formal address will be different from the informal one. We will cover them as we proceed. I know informal one, as we have illustrated, we will be covering the informal letter by the end of this lesson. So, and maybe by that time we also mention briefly about the formal. So the address, one key thing I always tell students, because sometimes this is where they lose marks, the date is not part of the address. Once you have your address, once you have one PO box and then the area, you skip a line. Always skip a line to put the date. Once you combine the date with the address, you lose the marks for the date. And remember, like we have said as we were starting, functional writings, the format is very important. Sometimes you find a student may not even understand the question well, but they know the format. You have been asked to write a letter to apply for a job, and you don't have a lot of content, but you know this is an official letter. I will have my address there, and then I will have the other address, those formats. So immediately you put the date as part of the address, you miss the marks for the date. So we will cover addresses as we do the informal letter. The formats vary. Formats for the address vary according to the type of the letter written. And even though they are written differently, there are common features such as the post office box, in the address. This is where now you have the PO box, also the postcode, like you can see on your slides. The postcode, the street, road, or building where the post office is located in the city. We have two types of addresses. We have the block format and indented. What you can see in your screen, that is the indented format. As you can see, you start the first letter, Kilimambogo Food and Beverages. Then when you are doing the indented, you do go the second line. You indent. To indent is just to push. You indent, and then Kilimambogo Kenya. That is the indented format. There is the other one, which is the block format. Block is just the way, Kilimambogo. When you are doing the block format, the other letter, you don't now indent it. You just it is a line, a straight line. That is the block format. Those are the addresses. So I will give an exercise. On how you write each of the following addresses. It will feature on your screen, the exercise, where you write each of the addresses below as they appear on your envelope. Migori Polytechnic. As you can see on the screen, you follow those, Migori Polytechnic. Now I want you as a student to rearrange those details and write each of the addresses as they would appear on your envelope. Do you start with the Migori? Do you start with the postcode? Do you go to the post office box or the person, the principal, Kenya Migori? I want you to challenge yourself that way. Try to write those addresses. And once you are done, you will know even in the exam, you will be good to go. Those are the address. The other item we have said in Form 1, parking list. This is also Form 1 work. What is a parking list? A parking list is a checklist for what to bring along when you want to park, when you are going for a trip. If we tell you we'll be going next week, we'll be going to Mombasa, we'll be going to Mandera, what do you pack? If you are told now, when schools open, you need to pack things which you will use when you go to school. And a parking list, one thing you have to know on the parking list, you pack things depending on where you are going. If I tell you to make a parking list to report back to school, I don't expect you as a student to have sufurias. I don't expect you to have some funny things. We'll expect you to pack, even when you are packing clothes, when you are coming to school, we expect you to pack uniforms. Also, when we tell you are going for a trip to Mombasa, you know you will go there to swim on the beach. So you will have your swimming attire. You know Mombasa is warm, so you don't need to pack so many jumpers. Somebody going to Mombasa and you are telling us you have packed 5 jumpers. You may not need them. Also, we will be packing to go to Mount Kenya region where it is very cold, and you find that person, that student, when you are being told to pack, to go to Meru, Maua, those cold places, and you see that student in the clothing list, they don't have the heavy clothes, and you wonder. So let the question guide you. When you are told to pack, let the question guide you. I will give a sample packing list. Sample. Trip to Machakos. You have the title, Trip to Machakos. Trip to Machakos packing list. Trip to Machakos packing list. What do you need when you are going to Machakos? You have the days. You include the days. 3 days. 3 days. And then after that, you have number, a column for number, a column for item, category, a column for item category, then a column for quantity, a column for quantity, and now the description. Okay. Description. So in the item category, and these function writings need you to go to the exam room with a ruler, because you will be drawing. You draw nicely. There is you can see on your screen. Now you see the number, just number 1. Item category, clothing list. Clothing list, that is the category for clothes. If you are going to Machakos for 3 days, remember we have said, let the question guide you. Let the question guide you. You are going for 3 days. So what do you need? On the clothing list, the item, trousers, the quantity, 3, because you don't want to recycle your clothes. Then the description, purple one and 2 white ones. It's very important when you have a clear packing list. You can even delegate. Somebody can pack for you. You prepare the packing list, what to cover, even if you are not there, and you give somebody something as clear as what you can see on your screen. You know, I will check your clothes, I'll see the purple one, I won't put the black one. Then the shirts, again, we are going for 3 days. Shirts, 3. The pink one, the one printed in New York, the newly bought one. You pack. And then the underpants. Sometimes when we tell students to prepare a packing list, you find somebody packing clothes and you wonder, that person does not pack underpants. And now you wonder, are you telling us now the one you are wearing as you go for the trip, you will recycle that for the 3 days? So it's very important, 4 of them. And then that is the item category for clothing. Then the other list, as you can see on the slide, entertainment list. You are going for a trip. You need to be entertained. So entertainment list, to have some CDs. CD, when you have the laptop, you have some CDs to listen to some music or maybe a movie. You can have the laptop and the earphones. CDs, you cannot carry one movie. So we indicate quantity. Quantity is just the number. You indicate 3 of them. Nigerian movies, if you are a fan of Afro cinema or action movies, whatever makes you happy. The laptop, of course, if you are going for a trip, even if you have 10 laptops, we don't expect you to pack all of them. You only need 1. And then the earphones. You also need some earphones. Sometimes you want to listen to things without disturbing the person next to you. Then there is the category for toiletries. Remember, you are going for 3 days. This is the key thing, and I will keep on repeating this. You pack, let the question guide you. Because if you are going to Mombasa, if you are going to Machakos, and you are going for 3 days, and you are telling us you don't carry the bathing soap, you don't pack the bathing soap, the washing soap, and then the toothpaste, you need to brush your teeth, and the quantity, as you can see on your screen, 250 gram for bathing soap, Jama washing soap, you can have Jama or the one you use, and then you need the Colgate. Those are the toiletries. Also, remember one thing, if you have been told to make a packing list, and you are going somewhere for 1 day, you don't need to carry bathing soaps, because it's our assumption you came from home, you bathed at home, and then you will be coming back. So again, let the question guide you. Then drinks. You are going for a trip, so what will you drink as you go? The Afia 500 ml, guava flavored, the soda, Fanta or Coca-Cola, whichever soda you like. So how do you start when you are making this packing list? That is a practical sample. I want to take you through how you start. Get a piece of paper and a pen and write the word packing list. This forms part of the title. The other part is the place to visit. Like in our example, we have said we are going to Machakos. Write the number of days. How many days? That one will be guided by the exam question, the question you are asked. Okay, as you can see, it is advisable to do this. It will help you tell you how many clothes you might need. Also, you draw a table with columns. Draw with a ruler. Have a ruler so that your work is nice. Your work will be presentable. Remember, appearances really matter. And then the columns, you have the categories, the item category, the item, the quantity, the description, and then now there are various categories. You have the entertainment, CDs, radio, so on, clothing list, those are underpants, skirts, and so on, trousers. You have the camping gear, the sleeping. If you're going to sleep, you need a sleeping bag. Also toiletries. Every time you are told that you are going for more than 1 day, you need those toiletries, you need the toothpaste, you need the soap. That table, now you fill the items appropriately. So that is the packing list. I hope you have understood, and I hope you can make a packing list. Now we'll come to the other functional writing, the informal letter. Informal letter. Also Form 1 work. An informal letter is a friendly letter. This is the letter you write to a close friend or a relative. You can write this letter to your parent. Maybe you are in school. And you need some pocket money, or there is some information. Maybe the school has organized a trip and you need to be reimbursed by your parent. So you write an informal letter. You can also write an informal letter to your friend when you want to know something. So how do you write it? It is, they also called friendly letters. They are meant to, as you can see on the slides, they are meant to give news, also to request for information, also to congratulate people. Maybe somebody has done something commendable, and then you write an informal letter to congratulate, to ask questions, or to give advice. So how do you write the informal letter? An informal letter has some elements. The sender's address. There you write your address. You are the one who is writing. An informal letter, unlike the formal letter, we'll cover the formal letter another time, it has only one address, which is yours. Then the PO box and so on. Then the date. The date when the letter is written. The date when the letter is written. Remember we said the date is not part of the address. So you skip a line. You skip a line when you are writing the date. Also, now after the date, salutation, that is Dear Timothy. The salutation, it depends on your level, the level of closeness to the person you are writing to. You can write dearest, dearest so-and-so, or my dear so-and-so, because it's a friendly letter, the level of how close are you. That is when you have the salutation. It is written on the left-hand side of the letter, left-hand side. You start, dear James, dear mom, dearest dad, and so on. Okay. Then you have the opening paragraph. After you put the salutation, the opening paragraphs, you may ask about the recipient's health. For example, how is your family? How are you, Njuguna? I hope that you and your family are okay. Also, I'm fine, and I hope you are fit. That is the opening paragraph before you come to now what you wanted to ask or to tell that person. Then you have the content paragraph. This is where you give your main reason for writing. As you, there is a sample there, a sample in formal letter. The content paragraph, you mention your main reason. Give the news or ask the questions. You can start with, in that paragraph, I am writing this letter to. Now you continue. Again, just like the other items in function writings, the question will guide you. The question on the exam paper will guide you. So that is where you get your content. And then you can start with, I am writing this letter to, and so on. Then you have the closing paragraph. Closing paragraph. It is proper to inform the recipient that you are ending the letter. Some phrases you can use, write me soon, please convey my warmest regards to so-and-so, hope to receive a reply from you, goodbye, and so on. That is the closing paragraph. And then now there is the closing. You sign off with your name. Now, when you are doing the informal letter and you are signing off, you don't sign the signature. You don't put the signature. If it is a formal letter, you put yours sincerely, then you sign, then your name. But in an informal letter, we don't sign. We just sign off. You can say yours lovingly, yours affectionately, keep in touch, and then your name should follow. Your first name is preferred. That is an informal letter. And then, because of time, we'll be a bit faster. We come to the other item, public notice. Public notice. We also cover public notice in Form 1. A public notice, you want to convey something to the public. A public notice is just a notice given, a notice given to give information to the public that is widespread. It can be unclaimed property, a wanted person, so and so, government contracts, and so on, as you can see on the slides. And you see a sample public notice. There is a sample public notice. I will just copy the sample. Maji Machafu Dealers Company. Then you can have the details there. PO Box 123. It's on the screen. That's that sample. That is the public notice. Notice is hereby given that the son of Amos, Kenyanjui, resident of plot 5 located opposite Kandika Plaza, Kilgore, his estate, has agreed to sell the plot mentioned. Just when you have that format, because I will keep on repeating, in functional writings, the format is the key. And then you will sign it, and you are sincerely Frederick Wainaina, the sales manager. That is the public notice. I hope you can you can clearly understand it. The last item in Form 1 is the inventory. Inventory. What is an inventory? An inventory is a complete list of items such as equipment, property, goods in stock, or even the contents of a particular place. A list of things possessed by a person or a company. That's an inventory. When you are a secretary, you will be asked to have an inventory of the things in the school. Also the store manager. When you are in charge of a place, you need an inventory. You will have a sample inventory. With the name of the institution, the name of the person, putting the inventory, the date when the records are taken, the item number, the item category, the quantity of items, how many are they, the description. I hope you can get a sample. Okay, thank you. The name and the designation of the person. So when you have your KUTV inventory of the equipment as at, now you put today's date, then you come to the number, the item category, the item, you can have number. Thank you. We have the sample there. That is the sample inventory. The number, item category, laboratory equipment, test tubes and microscopes, the quantity, the description, approximate value. And now it's when you have such an inventory, if you are the lab technician, you have 15 test tubes. Once you give like 5, you will have, when you take the other inventory, you will have 10 now. And then the inventory helps you keep a record. You get to know what you can add. Once you check your records and you see what you have, and then it's very easy for you to know what you will add. We can see we need to add some chairs, we need to add some balls, we need to add a printer, and so on. So I hope you can understand that sample. That is generally Form 1 work, all the functional writings. Those are the only items you will be asked in Form 1. So I hope we have tried to make them simpler. Just have the format. Have the format, because that is the key. The format for every item. And then now next time, when we do the Form 2 work, we'll still do the same. We will list them and we will discuss briefly and put examples. So with that, we have come to the end of the lesson. It's always a pleasure to be here. And we will meet next time. We'll have prepared another lesson. It is teacher Ernest Njuguna, all the way from Gatundu North, Sub-County, St. Anne's, Mariaine. And I hope you have enjoyed the lesson. Till we meet again next time for another wonderful session. Have a wonderful time, viewers.